How's it going, everyone? Hi, I'm Simu Liu, and this is Watch With Me. My favorite movies were ones where the world building was so strong and I could just kind of disappear. It really has the power to transport you to like different places and different times. I sing very unapologetically in the shower. I've seen almost every movie musical known to man. Would like to be in my own one day. Putting that out there. My favorite scene from La La Land that sticks out to me is where Ryan Gosling's character is in the club they just opened. By all accounts, he's successful, but then Emma Stone's character walks in. And we know all the history that has led up to this moment and how much they both sacrificed for their dreams. In fact, they sacrificed their relationship for their dreams. He's playing this like alternate reality where he gives up his career for her, and it's love, and it's like, yeah, this is what he gave up to be successful. Musicals like to talk about the stars because I think they're a metaphor for our dreams. Rewrite the Stars, when Zendaya and Zac Efron are on the trapeze and they're just kind of like circling each other. Absolutely epic. All of these films have deeply impacted me in some personal way. Just Mercy is an incredible movie to watch. The way in which guilt is presumed for some people just based on their background.
Something wrong, officer?
We see all of the ways in which it is so incredibly unfair.
To McMillan shall be returned to Holman Correctional Facility where he is to face death by electrocution.
The mass incarceration of African Americans to the uphill battle through which some people have to prove their innocence. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, who also directed Just Mercy. I noticed a lot of parallels, moments where there are not necessarily any lines of dialogue, but you're just alone with the character and you're just existing with them. I'm a huge fan of martial arts movies. Growing up, I idolized Jackie Chan. He came on the heels of Bruce Lee, who presented himself as a total tough guy. What Jackie did so beautifully was he took that and turned it on its head. In every scene, he's just an everyman. He's always in a state of, oh my God, like what's going on? And sometimes he'll punch something and he'll go, ah, like it's that kind of relatability. What I'm really, really excited to do is to move the conversation beyond just martial arts. The Asian American lived experience is something that's pretty new to American pop culture. I want to make sure that the world knows that we're capable of doing so much more. The Farewell is a movie about essentially a lie. Her grandmother has cancer, and the entire family has decided not to tell her. The test results are about to come out, and she's like, oh no, like this can't get to my grandma. She books it to the doctor's office to intercept the note before her grandma can see it. Out of her own love for her grandmother, she is now participating in this lie. Minari is such a wonderful story about the American dream. The family in question, in pursuit of this American dream, comes from Korea. I really loved any scene involving the boy and his grandmother.
할머니는 진짜 할머니 같지 않아요.
할머니 같은 게 뭔데?
쿠키도 만들고 나쁜 말도 안 하고 남자 팬티도 안 입고.
그래?
It reminds me of talking with my grandparents when I was young, trying to navigate a language barrier and a cultural barrier.
아이고, pretty boy.
Pretty boy, and he like kind of throws her arms away and he's like,
I'm not pretty, I'm good looking.
Inside Out is really a story about growing up, and it takes place inside the mind of this girl, Riley, where all these different emotions are trying to navigate this ship together.
I know a shortcut. Come on.
Bing Bong lives in Riley's subconscious. He's this representation of this pure, this childhood innocence, this imagination that's unfettered and unfiltered.
D-A-N-G-E-R, shortcut.
Part of growing up is killing those parts of yourself. And I think that's so incredibly heartbreaking. I remember I had a pair of sunglasses, so I had to put the sunglasses on. I just like sat back in my chair and like silently wept as these two people were beside me. I love anything to do with Greco-Roman history. The story of Troy is a story of these godlike heroes. The scene of like, no one will remember your name. Achilles is on his horse, and there's a little boy that walks up to him and is like, are you really gonna go up against all these people and fight? And Achilles is like, yes, I am. That's really scary. And Achilles takes one look at him and it says, that's why no one will remember your name, and then rides off into battle. I would say that I want people to remember my name. I hope that people remember what I stood for.
Who are you?
Greater than just a name for myself. It's you know, a platform through which I can affect positive change in the world. Well, thanks for hanging out with me. And now I want you to watch with me. See my watch list and more on Google TV.